All right, everybody saw that nice looking tournament sized glide bait that Edwin Evers was throwing at the Redcrest. And we're all thinking, what is that? Well, I figured out what it was and I got my hands on some. I'm going to share that with you today. So, based on doing some research on some message boards, when I was hearing on social media, it sounds like what Edwin Evers was throwing early on was a prototype small tournament glide bait from Mike Bucca Bullshad baits. Dug into it more. It was called the Trick Shad. And then I found out they were going to have some for the Bassmaster Classic, which I attended in Knoxville this past weekend. So, with my early entry Bass Nation Life member, the first stop on the map was the Bullshad booth to check it out. And we got some. So I was able to grab two, one a regular paint job and one custom made job, and I'm going to show you those today right now. Start out with the regular one. So these went pretty quick. I'm not sure they lasted the first day of the Classic. They weren't cheap, but so I bought two. Don't know that I needed two, but in the moment, the scarcity, I kind of felt compelled to grab two. So there is a close-up look of the Mike Bucca Bullshad Trick Shad. This is a 7-inch bait. It's actually just a touch over 7 inches with the full tail, but it's an honest 7-inch bait. It weighs about 2.5 ounces. I put on my scale over there, and that's about right where it was. So to me, this looks like a really good tournament bait. That kind of perfect size where you're gonna, still can get a big bite, but you're not going to deter, quality 2 to 3 pound fish in a tournament.
Yes. I'll just throw that all day.
3 pounds, 10 ounces.
310. Back in the game. Back in the game.
For size comparison, let me show it to you. So here it is next to a 168 River to Sea, which it's quite a bit more substantial than that. Not necessarily way longer, but just the profile. Weight-wise, they feel pretty similar. Let me weigh this quick. The River to Sea weighs about 1.5 ounces. This weighs about 2.5 ounces. So there's just some of the profile comparisons. So I know it's hard to gauge how big baits are at home. Now, another popular bait that you can get pretty easily and readily would be the Arashi glide. So here it is, lengthwise, pretty similar. Arashi's a touch longer with the tail. The body's actually a touch longer. Profile-wise, this is deeper, more of a shad profile. This is about a 3-ounce bait. It feels quite a bit heavier. These do not have, rotating hook hangers like the Arashi does. So there's some additional hardware there. But this is more of a shad glide. Should we look at that other color I have here? So here's the other color that I grabbed, kind of more of a holographic shad color. Good looking bait here. So you can see them side by side. They're the same bait, just different paint jobs. Really, really like the looks of this one. I'm kind of excited to throw this one. So it comes with split rings, hooks in the bag. Put those on yourself. They don't spend time attaching them so that you can clearly add them yourself if you want. If you want to upgrade them, then you can they give you something that'll work, but you can, a lot of people that are going to spend this money on swim baits like their own split rings. They like their own hooks. So they throw some in there in case you want to use them, but they also know that a lot of people won't put them on and they're just going to use something else. So they don't waste the time and labor. Both of these baits come with a pin. So these pins can come out, right? And that allows you to get access to the where you want to adjust ballast. So if you want to make this more of a slow sink, or if you somehow want to get that little tungsten or lead ball out of there, you can remove that. You can sand it down. You can add weight. So you can change if you want it to be a faster or a slow sink or anything like that. They're fully customizable from a sink rate standpoint with that little pin. Talking to Mike Bucca, this is a very tight and erratic, choppy glide motion. So this, I think, would be, in the same ballpark as the Shad, that style of bait where you can get that really short, choppy, and the joints do hit, so you can get that noise of the joints. Both these baits that's kind of the trick glide. I'm not sure when they're going to be ready for the masses, or if they're just going to release these through small drops on their website. But that is the close-up, that is the details, and that is what all the rage is about this trick shad from Bucca, Bullshad. And that's what Edwin Evers was using for several of his big fish catches in his third-place finish at the Redcrest on Lake Norman.
You know, it's just such I'm swinging with a couple of big swim baits. This one here is a glide bait from Mike Bucca. I caught a lot of fish this week.
There was a lot of steam about the cull shad, and he did have a few fish catches on the cull shad. He did throw it some, but this was the one that was really making the most noise. I'm not sure if he caught a 6-pounder on it or not. There really wasn't any video footage of that. The fact that he didn't really talk about that 6-pounder in specific or say that he caught the 6-pounder cull shad makes me think he caught the big bass of the tournament on this little guy. If Bucca ever drops him on his website, I'll put a link down below. I'm very much looking forward to when we get to ice out here in Minnesota and get out and throw this bad boy and test it out. If you want to see more tackle review type videos and unveilings and unboxings, check out this playlist on the screen right here.